Hey everybody, so the question is, what starter companies would I recommend for new truck drivers? Tubiest of the tubiest, the best YouTube subscribers on the planet. That's you. And I'm 50 plus, and I'm rocking because I'm being loaded. Anyway, Fifth Knowledge asked me a question, and he asked me what trucking companies would I recommend, for starters, and starter companies. And well, most of the people who would answer a question like that would answer it as if they knew. Okay. And to be quite honest with you, I only know two companies. I worked for Swift, and then they got controlled by Knight, and also sorry about that. I was trying to see if the guy that's loading me was trying to get my attention, but no. And then here at Melton. And, outside of those two, I don't have firsthand information. I don't. I only know what others who worked at those companies or any other company would have told me, okay? And a lot of what people say about companies has a whole lot to do with their personal experience. And you gotta take what they say with a grain of salt, okay? Are they telling you? Are they telling you a unbiased truth, or their biased opinion based on their experience? And then you find out that the person is a problem. They're not sensible, but they blame their failures on the companies that they've worked for. So it's hard for me to say about any other company outside of Melton and Swift, because those are the only two I know firsthand. When I talk about Prime, I know someone who works for Prime, and I also know that person personally, and I know them enough to know that the information that they give is honest, truthful, and it's coming from a person who is a reasonably thinking person. And I trust him, and he's killing it. And I would assume then that he has nothing bad to say about Prime. And he's doing very well. So, and he's happy. So, I would say Prime will be a very good choice. Plus, Prime has a lease purchase program. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, okay? You guys who are getting into this industry, you are going to hear people talk about leasing being so bad. You're gonna hear a lot of that, and it's all relative, okay? People go purchase cars and pay too much for them, and have bad financing, and all of this kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. It's not a truck industry thing. But people who tell you that leasing is bad, they absolutely are not business minded, and they can't do math. Period. The end. And any of them that want to challenge me on that, I'll be glad to challenge you. I'll be glad. I'm gonna eat them alive, because I do know business and I do know math. And owning a depreciating asset is, in fact, they don't even go in the asset column, period. So, you know, it's not a, and if you don't know what I say, what I mean when I say asset column, then you don't need to be telling nobody about leasing. Okay, you just need to go along with the flow and don't talk to people about leasing if you can't answer that question. But at the end of the day, if you're leasing, you're typical. Okay, be quite honest with you. Even if you went to a bank, financed a truck, at the end of the day, quit paying the notes, and we'll find out if you actually own it or leasing it. So it was. Anyways, Prime is a good place to go, and the reason I really like to talk to you guys about, about the leasing part of this deal, because if your intentions, and his was to go owner operator, if those are your intentions, then you need to lease, and lease on with a company, lease at a company like Prime, because you'll have a better grasp of what it takes to be an owner operator. That's a progression step, and it's a good deal. Outside of Prime, I've heard nothing but good things about Crete, and there's a subscriber who's going to start with Crete. I read their message, and I've heard nothing but good things about Crete, and I'm actually looking to see if I can find them, and if I can, I'll give them a shout out. If not, I'll shout out to them on the next one. But Crete is pretty good with their pay. They're a pretty solid company. I hadn't seen any trashed out equipment, and however, there is a little bit of difference between companies that you're going to choose based off of whether or not you already have your CDL. Okay, if you already have your CDL, then your options are the full spectrum. But if you do not, then it does. Michael Rizzo, he also asked a similar question. So Michael, hope I'm answering your question as well. Okay, if you do not have your CDL, that means you got to go to a mega carrier that's going to help you attain that CDL, and then that'll limit the amount of the companies that you can choose from. And well, I'm not going to find that person's name right now, but I'll get back with you. But Crete is a good place to try. Okay, I mean, a good place to go to work with. There's nothing bad about them at all. You want to determine what your end game is. What is it that you want to do? Okay, if you want to do flatbed, if you want to do heavy haul, if you want to do tankers or something like that, then you need to make sure that the company that you choose is going to fit that goal. Okay. And then investigate that company. I'm very reluctant to tell you about companies that I don't work for, that I've never worked for, so that I can't give you an honest opinion. I did really well at Swifty. I did, and I honestly don't see anything bad about them. I just don't. I don't. They screwed me in the end, and but I understand why. It wasn't malicious. It was a business decision, and they just kind of threw the baby out with the bathwater. So I'm not tripping on that. Not only that, that is not an issue that you guys would get into, okay? So people talk a lot of trash about Swift, and every one of them, I'm telling you, listen, somebody will respond to me, you know, Swift best in crash, and you know, Swift does this and Swift does that, and I will respond to them with this, and it just kills them every time. I respond to them, did you have a negative experience when you drove for them? And either they won't say anything, or they'll say, oh, I don't want to argue with you about that. No, it's not an argument. It's not an argument. You know, I'm just trying to get you to see if you know what you're talking about. You know, there's a lot of people who work with Swift and have had negative experiences. There's some of the UBiest that went to work with Swift and had negative experiences. And the fact is, if you start digging into their situation, it wasn't all the company, you know. In fact, it was probably 90% the driver. And that comes with, you know, watching people on YouTube tell you a bunch of bullshit, and because they are seeing it with some sort of authority, you take it as gold and run with it. Fact is, you know, they didn't know what they was talking about. They was misleading you, but they want, you know, to get them views, get those clicks. There's a lot of guys who have way bigger channels than mine, talk all that trash, man. And people just eat it up because they don't know, and they're saying stuff that they know people want to hear. I'm not going to say what I think you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth, which is the reason why I end up with, you know, 10% of the amount of subscribers that some of these guys have, with full of drama, full of bullshit, and pretend like they know everything. How the hell are you going to know about all these different companies? And if you have personal knowledge about all these different companies, then you definitely are the person I want to deal with, because obviously you can't hold down a job. So how good is their word, you know? They tell you this company does this company sucks there, this company does the other thing. You know, they're horrible, and they, you know, don't go to work for them, and then come to find out, you know, every company's the same way. Well, there's one common issue amongst all of those companies. So you know what I'm getting at. Investigate, okay? Investigate. Find out what you want out of this industry, and choose a company that's going to help you get where you want to go, and get done the things you want to get done. Start by, how are you going to acquire your CDL? If you're going to acquire your CDL through a mega carrier, then that's where you're going. So eliminate any other carrier that does not help you get your CDL or pay for it up front. Melton has a $10,000 tuition reimbursement. So basically, you go get a student loan, go to community college, wherever, get your CDL, and then they're gonna reimburse $10,000 of that. It's not bad. If you want to drive from Melton, then just go down below there, and there's going to be a link. Click that link, and all you're doing is putting in your contact information. Somebody's going to contact you and help you get it going, okay? And you can do that before you get the CDL, because you might want to inquire about the tuition reimbursement and whether or not you are hireable before you get a CDL, okay? So, you know, just be smart with your choice. You got a lot of them, and, you know, Don't rely on talking heads, not even myself. Although I'm going to give you my honest opinion, and I'm not going to give you information that I don't know to be factual. But it may not be the information you need to make that choice, because I don't know what your end game is. I don't know what your goal is. I don't know, where you live, and if the company that I'm suggesting you give a shot hires out of your area. So there's going to be a lot of factors where companies are going to eliminate themselves out of contingents, because they don't hire in your area, or hire out of your state, or don't train, or don't have tuition reimbursement, or whatever. These companies can eliminate themselves. So do your due diligence, and I will tell you, if any way possible, then you want to avoid companies that typically pay low or don't have the industry respect as some of the others. Okay, so CR England is not a bad company, but I do know that their pay, unless they've increased it within the last year by a whole hell of a lot, they are on the low side of the pay grade. Western Express is kind of known for their laxed hiring standards, and that's good, because a lot of guys, maybe they screwed some stuff up in the past, and Western Express give them an opportunity. The only problem that I have with Western Express is I honestly have never seen a piece of equipment that they own, at a truck stop or driving up the road that I really would want to drive, to be quite honest with you. Their equipment just doesn't look appealing to me. That makes me think the company don't put the money into it or something. I could be wrong. Because I've never driven for them. Okay, I don't know that to be fact. All I know is what my perception is. Okay, that could be at one hell of a company. Well, I do know for a fact. That their hiring standards are a little more laxed, or maybe a lot more lax than quite a few others. And I don't see that as a negative. I think that's a good thing. Okay, you might have some issues with your with your legal history, in the past, or maybe you've had more than one little accident or something, and they'll give you that shot. I like that. It's a good thing, but industry-wide, people look at them as if, you go there for your last resort if you done everything wrong, and then they'll still give you that shot. And that's the word on the street, so to speak. I just don't see it as a real negative, to be quite honest with you. If that's the only negative, I'm all about it. All about it. So I hope I've given you some food for thought. Okay, but just be really careful about the talking heads that are telling you to do something if without you doing your own due diligence. Okay, until I see you again, deliver undistracted, and here's your boot.